ago, I jumped into the world of networking. Didn't really quite know what I was doing, but I had started this website, womansinsight.com, and didn't really have any money to market it, and so people kept saying, hey, get out there and network, you can grow your business that way. And I thought, okay, well, let's give this a try. I've heard about a group called American Business Women's Association, or better known as AWBA, and they were having a convention coming up. I thought, well, that would be a great fit for me. Someplace I'd probably feel a little more comfortable than others. So I grabbed my business partner at the time, and we go to this event, walk in, a lot of people there. I thought, well, this is awkward. You just walk up to total strangers and introduce yourself. How do you do this? But we kind of found our way. The announcer got up on the microphone and started telling us how the day was going to go, who was going to speak when, and asked everybody, take your seat, get settled in for the day. So we did, and we're about, halfway back in the room. There's all these tables. And she said, but before we get started, I want everybody to stand up. We're going to go around the room. I want everybody to stand up, tell us your name, tell us just a little bit about your business. About that time, me and my business partner looked at each other and went, I think you should do it. She finally convinced me that I was going to be the one to do it because I could tell she was starting to panic. And so I said, okay, let me figure this out. So I started listening. What's everybody doing? How do you do this? What do you say? And it's going around the room, and I realized that there's other people there that have more than one person representing that business, and they're all standing up. And so I looked at her and I said, I think you're going to have to stand up too. And she's like, big gulp, eyes are about as big as saucers. And she said, I don't know. About that time, I take a closer look and I notice she's actually breaking out in hives, okay? She's got hives all over her neck and chest. And I'm like, are you okay? She's like, let me just get through this. So about that time, it's my turn to stand up. I said something. I can't tell you what it was. I don't remember. I blanked it out, okay? She stands up. She says something. It continues to go around the room. I learned a couple of things that day. First of all, I learned you need to be prepared for that. Second thing I learned is that networkers are generally a kind group of people. Nobody laughed at us. Nobody pointed their finger and went, oh my gosh, that was horrible. Nothing bad happened to us. We survived it. So after that event, I thought, I need to plug into some smaller groups. Let me get more comfortable in the smaller group setting. And so I found a couple of luncheon groups where there was about, 15, 20 people that would show up. And I started attending. And I started listening to people do this introduction thing. And I was worried about it. I didn't really have anything prepared, and I felt like I just kind of stood up and fumbled along, and I just wasn't very effective at all. And I met a business coach at one of these meetings, and I said, I don't have anything down. I just feel like I'm not doing this right. And he said, oh, you're talking about an elevator pitch. I'm like, yeah, that thing. And he said, I can help you with that. And I'm like, okay, good. That's great. That's awesome. So I paid him some money, and he sent me this long questionnaire. I filled it out. It was actually pretty good because it helped me define what my focus should be, what my business was, what my purpose was, and what I was selling, which I didn't know up until that point. And I sent it back to him, and he said, okay, we need to kind of narrow this down, get about 2 or 3 good sentences out of it. So I did that. I did all my homework. I'm a good student. Sent it back to him. He kind of tweaked it a little bit, and he actually plugged in some words that rhymed. I was so excited. I was all jazzed up. Man, I've got a jingle here. This is going to be awesome. So he said, all right, you're set. I want you to memorize this. I want you to practice it in front of the mirror. I want you to get so comfortable with this you could do it in your sleep. Like I said, I'm a good student. I did that. I memorized it, and I had it down. Thought, okay, this week I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my jingle, and everybody is going to be amazed. Okay, it's going to be that good. So I go to the lunch group, wait my turn, I stand up, the did my jingle. It was perfect. It was exactly like I had practiced it. I mean, I'm telling you, I nailed it. It was awesome. And I'm waiting for the applause to start after I finish. And I look into this room full of people, and they're just looking back at me like, I'm like, wow, so proud. Huh. Can't be me, right? Gotta be them. There's something going on here, some kind of vibe in the room, right? Wasn't me. So a couple of days later, I had another lunch meeting, and I'm like, okay, this is my group. This is the one that's going to get it. They're going to love my jingle. So I stand up, I do it again, waiting on the applause. Again, the same thing. They're looking at me like, what in the world is God getting to Kathryn? What is she doing? They're just like, I could tell they felt sorry for me. Like, this is not working how I thought it was going to work. But if you know much about me at all, you know I don't give up very easy. So I continued to do this several more times, and I never got the reaction I thought I deserved. So I just kind of went back to my fumbling around and rambling and not really knowing what to say. But I started paying more attention to what other people were doing and the kind of things that made me feel comfortable. And I realized that it was some people, they had that jingle, and it was awesome. It was magic. It worked for them. It was just great. And other people, they didn't really have a jingle, but they were confident. They knew what they were doing. And I felt like I could connect with them. And I started to realize that that's what it was. The people that were being genuine and authentic, those are the people that I could figure out who they were. That's who I could connect with. That's what it means to be naked. So anybody who was afraid that, there was going to be some disrobing going on here today, you can relax now. Nobody's going to get naked. But that's what it means to be naked and unafraid. Because when you are yourself and when you're authentic, when you're genuine, then it just helps you relax, first of all. But second of all, they say networking is all about who you know, like, and trust, right? If I can't figure out who you are because you're acting like you're an actor in a play, you're reading your lines, you've got your script, I can't figure out who you are. And so I can't tell, do I like you? I don't know. I don't know who you are. You got to show me that. So I encourage you to try being genuine, try being authentic. Remove the cloak. Take off that sales hat. Be yourself. Approach it that way. As I was writing my book, which is right here, actually, Networking Naked and Unafraid, I came up with the definition of networking that seems to really fit every situation. And if you keep this in your mind, if you have this mindset as you approach it, then it's going to make things just seem so much easier for you. And it takes all the pressure off. Networking is simply starting a conversation with no destination in mind. I actually put that quote on the back of my book. What that means is you're just going to start some conversations and see where it goes. We don't know until we start that conversation, right? We don't know if you like that person. You got to find that out first. So get out, start some conversations. The last thing you need to do is walk into a room full of networking or a chamber or something like that and start looking around the room for prospects. Ooh, there's a prospect. I'm going to sell that person something. You watch. Here's another good one. I'm going to sell her too. What do you do when somebody approaches you and you can tell they're about to launch into their sales pitch? You kind of want to get away, right? Come on, I gotta go, right? So why do we do that to other people? Why do we listen to people that tell us to do it to other people, right? Or even pay them to tell us to do it to other people? Just start some conversations, see where it goes. You can get down to business later. You don't tell people what you do, but get to know them on a more personal level. It's going to help you with your confidence too. You know, sometimes we walk into a room, we don't know anybody, and we feel a little self-conscious, right? There's some people out there, like Ronald Fulshear, Hank Moore, who walks into a room, they know everybody, they've never met a stranger, they're not intimidated at all. Other people, a little on the shy side, more like me, they walk into a room and they're like, where do I start? It can be intimidating. And unfortunately, our body language shows that. So sometimes our first impression is sort of someone who's not confident, and they get kind of closed in on themselves, and they kind of hunch over a little bit. That's not a good first impression. And the thing with body language is, your mind controls your body. Your body doesn't control your mind unless you intentionally do it. So if you say, oh, I want to look confident, but you're not feeling confident, then it's extremely difficult to project that. So I'm going to do a little thing with y'all. If you would just humor me in this exercise, I'd like everybody to just stand up for a minute. Because I'm going to show you some tricks. Now, for the people that aren't shy and feel comfortable walking into a room full of strangers, you don't need this. But pretty much about 90% of the room, this is going to help you, okay? So I want everybody first, let's just take a deep breath. I mean, some of us fought traffic to get here. You got office situations, you got family situations, and your elbow and your shoulders are kind of up to your ears because you're like stressed, right? You're just stressed. So I want you to just try to bring that down. I want you to use your arms. So you might have to spread out just a little bit to do this and move out of the road. You're going to take up some space here. Okay, so use your arms. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, okay? Everybody ready? That feels pretty good. Let's do that one more time. Okay, I can tell a lot of you just kind of melted away some stress right there. But we're not done. We're going to do something else too. We're going to do a power pose, okay? I want everybody to adopt their favorite superhero stance, okay? You know, Superman, Wonder Woman. Bring your feet apart just a little bit. Put your hands on your hips. And I want you to own your space. Take up some space, man. Okay? This is confidence. Okay? So bring your chest up and heart up to the sky. Take your chin back just a little bit. Man, y'all are awesome. I love this. Everybody in this room is smiling right now. And I was looking at a few faces that were kind of Debbie Downer, okay? I'm just saying. But y'all are all smiling right now. And I love doing this with a room full of people because it just shows you've all just felt more confident. For that brief second, that thing that you did, it made you more confident. Y'all can sit down now. I appreciate y'all humoring me in this little exercise. So, if you are feeling unsure, you get into a networking situation, go into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and do your power pose. But also, think about getting out of the sales mode, okay? Because sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We think, man, I've got to get some sales. And that's all you're thinking. And people read that all over your body. So get out of the sales mode. Take off that sales hat. Just be you. Show up as you. And just introduce yourself. Start talking to people. I have a lot of examples in my book of some great ideas for introductions. Read that. I'm going to actually issue a challenge. You've got your, what is your Wednesday meetings called? They're called, what is it? Something Wednesdays. How to Win Wednesdays. There you go. How to Win Wednesdays. Use one of these meetings on your How to Win Wednesdays and take your phones. I don't have my phone up here, but take your phones and I want you to actually video each other practicing an introduction. I mean, if we all network, then we've all got to go through this exercise, right? And some people they struggle with it so much. So I want to challenge you, let somebody use your phone, video you keep it, nobody else is going to put it on the internet, right? You're going to trust each other with this. And practice that, because you can really get a lot of information about how you look and how you're doing it and tweak some things and make it better. It's going to help you tremendously. I'm going to wrap this up now. I really appreciate Hank. I love you to death. I did not know he was going to be here. He's an amazing man. You did? Aww. He's an amazing man, and he's right. If it weren't for him, I would not be speaking here today, and he's been so supportive of me. Thank you very much, Hank, for all you do. He's a fascinating man. If you've not ever talked to him, you need to talk to him. My book is available in the back. Anybody that buys one, I'd love to sit down and have coffee with you, give you a free 30-minute consultation. If I can help you with anything at all, whether it's introductions or you just want to chat, then that'd be great. I'd love that. Y'all are a super fun group. I love all that the Chamber is doing. Dawn, thank you very much for having me. You're wonderful.
Round of applause for Kathryn. So much. Wow. I didn't need to sit. I didn't need to run today. I've been working out. My legs are killing me.